lovers, Jen here with a quick review for you of the third book in the Illuminae files, which is Obsidio. This follows our cast from Illuminae and Gemini. So Katie, Ezra, Hannah, Nick, and then it introduces Aisha, who is Katie's cousin, and Rice, which was Aisha's former love interest before the invasion. So if you don't know anything about the Illuminae files, they're the files that were compiled by Katie starting, I think, at the end of the first book or in the second book, I'm not really sure. And it's basically a case against this woman who owns an industry called Baytech Industries. And I don't remember all the details, and I didn't do a reread. I just basically know, like, Baytech is bad. But it basically, there was an illegal mining colony called Karenza 4, and this is set in outer space. And Baytech came, excuse me, Baytech came and basically, like, wiped out a whole bunch of the planet in order to get access to, I think it's uranium or something, that is being mined on the colony. And essentially, that's what is being compiled, and we're kind of going through the story backwards. And the story is told in mixed media format, so there are chat sessions, there's art with dialogue in it, there's art without, or not dialogue, but like text in it, there's art without, that kind of stuff. There, a lot of the narrative is supposed to be video that was shot, and then this is the transcription that you're reading, and some of it is transcribed by Nick, so it's kind of humorous. Really, there were a lot of things that had the potential to be surprises in this story, like plot twists, which I kind of saw coming, or like they didn't necessarily surprise me. I really appreciated the ending of this. There were some scenes that bothered me. If you follow this channel, you know that I tend to skim if something is overly violent. Really, I think that the authors were trying to make a point of, you know, not everyone is good and not everyone is necessarily bad, and that war changes people and makes them forget their humanity. I think that is like the overarching message, and also don't underestimate the power of a few people making a big change. But really, I enjoyed the book overall because I love Nick, and I love that whole, all 6 of those main characters, including Ella, so 7. I really like the cast of characters that brought us through each of these books, because they're all really unique. Like, they're similar in some ways, but they're also really unique in other ways, and they all each have like an individual talent that makes them essential to the team. And they're all like really compassionate characters. Really, overall, like, the series is pretty violent, and I just find it really interesting. I've been in kind of a bit of a reading slump because I feel like a lot of the science fiction and fantasy books are all like violent and blood and gore, and I just kind of, I'm over it. Like, I'm a kind of a new age hippie sort of person with conservative values at the same time, and I'm just really not into like blood and gore and, you know, that kind of stuff. I'm really not into explicit sex. These books don't have that. I'm just thinking of some popular YA authors and things, and it's just like, you know, when you think about a YA audience, I know, since I write YA, that the audience can go up to, like, it's like women ages 18 to 43 or something like that. And so I know that, like, someone that age could probably tolerate violence, but I've actually stopped watching one of my favorite shows because it was so violent, and I'm very empathetic, and I'm an empath, and I could not, like, get it out of my head. And it's been 3 weeks, and it's just starting to, like, taper off. So, I don't know. Violence really is not my jam. Like, in my own stories, there may be a fight scene or something like that, but I don't really go into, like, gory details because, you know, I'm just not into that. I don't want that image in my head. I don't want that low energy vibration permeating myself, and I know that's pretty woo-woo for some people out there, but it's the reality of the situation. We're a collective consciousness, and what you put out is what you get back. So if you're putting out low vibes, you're gonna get low vibes. So besides that feeling, and that feeling that has been stuck with me through several books, not just Obsidio, the series itself has a good message and good characterization, and it's an interesting format. I probably won't ever reread it. I don't really reread just in general. There's only a handful of books that I have any intention to reread, but if you're looking for something different, and I would put an age stamp on this. I don't think it's for like middle grades. I think it's for high school, and even then I'm hesitant given the state of affairs with things and the mental health issues that apparently seem to be running rampant around these days in our society that aren't being addressed. I just don't think that, you know, this book is not for, and the series is not for certain populations. Let's just be very PC about it. But overall, if you like a little romance and you like science fiction, and you don't care about kind of slightly disturbing scenes and about violence and gore, then I suggest that you check out this book. Usually, besides that, this is like a solid 4 stars for me. It didn't move me on a philosophical level. A lot of the philosophical statements and political statements of this series are things that to me were not earth-shattering. They're already part of my value system. So usually for me, a 5-star read kind of moves my soul in some way. But overall, the series is really unique, and if you're looking for something different, then I suggest you check out the Illuminae files. I have reviews for both the other books on this channel. I think I may have done both of them in one video. I can't remember because it's been a while. And the same kind of things. They all have violence in them and kind of gore, but you know, I really like the message about like what makes someone good, what makes something bad, and sometimes those lines are blurred and that kind of message. So sorry that if woo-woo-ness offends you, but I'm kind of a woo-woo person, and it just comes with the territory sometimes in a book review. So hopefully I'm going to be reading some things that are more uplifting in the future to get me out of this reading slump. Here's hoping that something happens soon, because the last amazing book I read was The Cruel Prince, and that was like 2 months ago. So I'm kind of bummed out that my reading hasn't been jiving. So if you have any lighthearted reads, I'm not really a contemporary fan, but if you know of anything that's kind of more upbeat and positive, sort of, doesn't have to be all roses and unicorns, although I do like unicorns, you know, let me know in the comments. Let me know what you're reading lately, and especially any new releases. It just seems like a lot of the new releases are pretty heavy lately. So that's what I have for you today. This is Obsidio by Kristoff and Amie Kaufman. In the meanwhile, happy reading.